Ladies and gentlemen, all the hip hop heads worldwide, tengo el honor de presentar al único, inconfundible, the one and only EllMatic, yo. Yeah. Con la colaboración del 90 Kid, my man, Rick Santino. Give it up, give it up.
Yes! 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 Oh my God. 19th game day in the Bundesliga. Wolfsburg, Hertha away in Wolfsburg, and I am just mega happy that we won this game. I can't contain myself. It just has to come out right away. Jeez, fellow Herthaner, I know exactly you're feeling the way how I'm feeling it after this game or during this game. Woo! Oh my God. All right, we're gonna get into it all in a little moment. First off, 19th game day, Wolfsburg versus Berlin. Let's look at what was said at the press conference before the game. So, Derek Boyata out with accumulation of yellow cards. He got his 5th against Bayern, if I'm not mistaken. Darida out sick, he had an infection. Rekic hurt, he has a small muscle injury, so he couldn't play. Well, it's not bad. We got Stark, we got John Torunariga. They were holding it down, especially John Torunariga against Bayern Munich, so we're fine. So we start with Niklas Stark and John Torunariga as our center backs. Now, Darida being hurt, he was a more integral part. He's a hard worker for the team. I was really interested to see who would replace him. Especially Wolfsburg has thus far, as in mainly the first half of the season, been bolstering the second best defense in the Bundesliga. What was Klinsmann gonna field to break down the second best defense? During the press conference, he said something that stood out to me like a sore thumb. He made some special comments about Davy Selke. And these really hit home to me. He explained really well why he was holding on to him and what was going on with Davy Selke. So, he said, Davy Selke, and we can all agree, is a hard worker on the pitch. I mean, he really labors for the team. He comes all the way back on corners, which means when the corner's played out, he has to run all the way back up front. That's a pretty long distance. He also defends and runs at the ball carrier fairly high and fairly early. So that again, work rate. He stays working, he's passionate, he works. Klinsmann said that the key here is that the reason why Selke has not scored is partially being working so hard. But he said, if you're running so much and you're laboring so much, you're out of breath. Your heart rate is up, and then if you get your chance and you're out of breath and your heart rate is up, you're most likely not in the physical stance or the physical situation to do your best and to score that goal. As we saw against Bayern, he could have did so much better with that header. He could have chested it down, he could have had it a little bit more aimed, but because his heart rate was probably up, he was tired from running around so much already, he scuffed it. So that was really interesting. And he said that the art of a striker is to get a clear head and to make the right decision. So Davy Selke needs to find the balance between his defensive commitment and his offensive commitment to be successful. And clearly, that is currently the issue, which to me should not be too much of an issue, because you know what, Davy Selke? Why don't you stay on offense a little bit more? Don't come back on every time. I mean, I love it. And come back sometimes, but not every time. And according to Klinsmann's formula, you're going to prosper and you're going to shoot some goals for the blue and white boys. And to that, cheers, Selke. Get it done. All right, let's talk about the game. First half. We were coming out in a 4-1-4-1 with Klünter on the right, Stark next to him, Torunariga on the left center back position, and then Maxi Milstedt on the left. In front of them, Askachiba, and then Dilrosun, Skjelbred, Grujic, Wolf, and Lukebakio up top. I think that was given the circumstances with the players being out, I think that was a pretty nice setup. What happened throughout the flow of the first half, you could see that 4-1-4-1 wasn't a true 4-1-4-1 because it kept morphing to a 4-2-3-1 where Grujic would go higher and fill the position of an attacking midfielder, and Skjelbred would drop back a little bit more and help Askachiba clean up in front of the defense. I like that. That's the first time I think that Grujic has started as a dedicated attacking midfielder. And did he not perform well? Oh my God. I mean, Grujic, wow. That was probably the best game that I've seen you do this season. So, cheers, I'll drink to that. All right. In the beginning of the game, you could see that Dilrosun he was on the outside, on the right-hand side, playing against Mbabu. And Mbabu was just a little bit too physical for him. I mean, he was getting bodied off the ball, he was just muscling him around, and he couldn't get past him. So pretty quick, there was a switch where Wolf and Dilrosun switched sides, and then it seemed to flow a little better on the wings for Hertha because Wolf is a little bit more of a stark winger type guy. So he was able to hold him and shut him down a little bit. I want to give a big shout out to the supporters. Everybody that traveled to Wolfsburg. I mean, wow, you guys were really loud. On my TV over here, the whole time I'm hearing Hertha, Hertha, all the chants. Wow, you guys are amazing. I mean, what a support for Hertha on the road in Wolfsburg after having such difficult last games. Phenomenal. That's why I think, and I'm biased, but don't get me wrong, we have some of the best supporters in the whole wide world. You know, that's my opinion. All right. Unfortunately, the game wasn't very attractive. It was mainly in our half. We were mostly defending against them. And it wasn't attractive. We went forth, two notable times really. In the 12th minute where Wolf had a big chance. And in the 16th where Lukebakio had attempted a bicycle kick. It was a flashy kick, and I really wanted to see him connect with the ball and see if he could put it in from that angle because he was a little bit offset from the goal. That would have been difficult, but knowing Lukebakio and his class, who knows what would have happened. But when I saw that, I was like, hell yeah, this guy's fired up. He's getting me fired up. I think he's going to play a great game and he's going to score a goal. And yes, I was right. However, not in the first half. There isn't really anything else to say about the first half. It kind of just, it wasn't attractive. There was no big moments. For us at least, there was nothing notable that I want to mention here. So I'm going to dive right into the second half. We came out and it looks like the coach, Klinsmann, made some adjustments because we were then in a 4-4-2, which Grujic moved up as almost the second striker or the hanging tip, the false nine. And I think playing in that dedicated 4-4-2 was a little bit better for us also defensively because Askachiba now had Skjelbred there to all the time help him clean up, which looked pretty well and helped us create a little bit more pressure on Wolfsburg and move more into their half more often. However, the second half also wasn't very intriguing, very exciting at all. But in the 63rd minute, Wolfsburg does a change. They bring on Mehmedi, another striker. And 5-6 minutes later, in the 68th minute, he crosses in from the outside. Weghorst, who is offside, manages to somehow jump out of the way without making contact with the ball. And the ball just ends up in the back of the net. At first, I wanted to be like, Jahrstein, you should have had that. And maybe he could have. But I can't really blame him because if you look at it in slow-mo, you see that Weghorst is clearly irritating him. He's making a move past the ball and it looks like Jahrstein is kind of going in that direction with him. And I do not know why we have a VAR and why he does not look at situations like that. Is it Hertha or is it everywhere? I have no idea. Remember when Niklas Stark's nose was broken and this man was bleeding on the pitch? No, we don't need a VAR. And here a goal gets scored from a ball that somehow runs through everybody and ends up in the back of the net when there was a guy offside. Very disappointing. Very, very disappointing. VAR, if you have one job, please do your job. It's not that hard. I mean, I clearly saw that should have been called back because he's irritating the keeper. He's offside. Yeah, he doesn't touch the ball, but I don't have to be touching the ball. If I'm irritating the keeper, then that should be enough. Anyways, 1-0. And I was like, well, I'll be damned. Again. Go to Wolfsburg, tinkle around a little bit, and then catch a silly goal, and it ends 1-0. Well, luckily we have the one called Air Jordan. Oh my God, and can he jump? 73rd minute. Maxi Mittelstadt crosses the ball in on the corner, and Jordan does this beautiful run, curving around the defense, coming to the far post, where he clearly exploited the zone defense from Wolfsburg and towered over the same Mbabu, and just he rises up so high and slots it home. Oh, goosebumps, guys. What a goal in a boring game, but what a goal. I mean, this guy, I wish somebody would have the technology to measure how high this man jumped, because this was clearly, he probably could have, if this was basketball, he probably would have been hanging with his arm all the way to his elbow in the rim looking at his opponent like, yeah, what's up, what's up? Oh man, Air Jordan, man, I know you are the future in the defense for Hertha. I don't know if Rekik's got to go or whatever, but we need to give Jordan way more playing time, because he is currently this season the most efficient striker. Remember, he was subbed in Dresden and scored that rocket of a shot. Now his second goal here. Hey, enough said. This guy's been on the bench, and when he comes in, he seems to be scoring. So I think he deserves more starting time. You could arguably bring back Boyata, but I think Stark played a good center-back position. So I would like to see Torunariga and maybe Stark or Boyata, whoever's better in training, but I need to see Jordan. Thank you. So in the 76th minute, the next big surprise for Hertha fans, Dilrosun is subbed off, and who comes on? Oh my God, I was wondering if I can trust my eyes. Who's there on the sideline? Esvine, our number 7, is making a comeback. Okay, I was down in Orlando during the test game against Frankfurt where he scored both of the goals for us, and he did not look bad at all. He did not look bad. But it's a test game, you don't want to take it too serious. Apparently he's hungry in training, and he shows the coach that he's the one that needs to come on. And he came on. And to be honest, in the 14 minutes that he played really well, because in the 87th minute, he crosses a sharp ball in front of the face of the goal. Luke Bacchio, who was running through the defense, beating his marker, comes in an attempt to reach the ball that was slightly behind him, a sliding acrobatic kick, unfortunately right into the chest of the goalkeeper. But wow, Esvine coming in, doing the impact, respect. In the 85th minute, let me not get ahead of myself, Hertha launches an end-of-game offensive. When was the last time that we saw such a beautiful thing, where it looks like everybody digs deep, shifts up a gear, and runs at them to try to finish out the game and win the game that at this point is 1-1? I was like, oh my God, what is this? This is beautiful. And of course, as so many times, you get your reward for hard labor in soccer. And in the 90th minute, with the most, I don't want to call it slapstick, but it was amazing. Grujic chips the ball into the box from the edge of the box, from the side. Klünter, who has had a fairly average game up to this point, heads it backwards into. He could have not known who is there. He just heads it backwards behind him. And Dodi Lukebakio with an acrobatic turn does basically the same thing, just a little bit more of his head back, and places the ball in the sweetest spot available. Far post, right there, unstoppable for the keeper, with just this beautiful touch. It was not power, it was just, and it was in. And ladies and gentlemen, I lost my shit. I mean, I took my daughter and I flung her up in the air and caught her back. She was giggling. We were, oh my God, I freaked out. My heart rate was through the roof. But after the goal celebrations, everything had died down. I was like, not. Lukebakio and everybody has fought so hard. Don't typical Hertha me now. Not now. Not today. Not today. And of course, my team comes through. And we finish out strong. We sub on Selke to buy some time and to piggyback off his energy a little bit in his fight. And finally, a minute later, in the 93rd minute, the ref blows off the game. And oh my God, I just collapse on my couch. Sweat is pouring out of all the pores of my body. All right, it's a little bit too gross. But let me tell you, I felt relieved. I felt so relieved, like I have not felt relieved in a long time. It was a horrible game, but we found again, just like in the Leverkusen game, we found a way to win and get 3 points against the opponent where, honestly speaking, we did not deserve to win. They were more aggressive, had us more in our own half, but hey, we were more efficient. All I say is, great win, take the 3 points, let's move on, let's build up on this, because there is a lot that we can build up on. And again, Jordan Torunariga, Dodi Lukebakio, mates, I can only say cheers. You guys are what I as a Hertha fan live for. Emotions pure. Alright, next up, let's look at the player impressions. Let's start with Dilrosun Rasoon. He seemed that he wanted to do a lot and he did a bunch of dribbles that were looking beautiful, but they were just not fruitful. It's an improvement, a big improvement from the Bayern game, so he's getting better, but I do not think that he deserves to be another starter. There should be somebody else that gets a chance, maybe Eswein, and if they don't look good, you sub him, or if they look good, you sub him out and bring Dilrosun Rasoon from the bench in the, let's say, 60th, 70th minute. To me, he just looked a little bit out of sync. Some of the balls he played up were played behind instead of through, and some little things that I didn't like. I also thought that the tactics where Grujic, who was playing the attacking midfielder, he was a little bit more on the left side of the pitch, leaving a hole on the right attacking mid side, and Dilrosun Rasoon wasn't really always playing on outside. He came inside a little bit more, and for some reason it didn't really work so well for him. I think he's better if you just let him work the sideline up and down and let him do one-on-one dribbles. I think he shines a lot better there. I want to know why Mittelstädt got the chance over Plattenhardt, because I don't think that Plattenhardt was that horrible against Bayern. After all, he played a great ball on Selke for that great chance that I like bringing up. But oh my God, coach, that was the right decision. I mean, Mittelstädt was arguably one of our best players, and he should have deserved to score given his work rate. And I think he did take 1 or 2 shots, his famous distance shots. Oh my God, Mittelstädt, I think Mittelstädt is set on the left side now. He played great. He brought the energy, the freshness. He was hard to get by, and he constantly was available for passing going forward. For left wing back, that's all I can ask for. I also think that Askachiba looked good again, and so did Shelbred. They were both biting, they were both playing well. Skelbred, of course, was asked to go forward a little bit more in that 4-1-4-1 formation, and he didn't shine so much. That's why I think if Darida wouldn't have been sick, he would have filled that position and he would have played a little bit better. But he was out, Skelbred came in, And I think he did a good job. Jahrstein, he saved us again so many times. And yes, great again. I would say also one of the best. Torina, Rieder and Stark, fantastic. They did a good job, especially Jordan with his offensive actions. Grujic also played really well. Now that he has a chance to move forward and show his prowess, I think he really fits that role. He's a tall, strong guy, and he can really body some people off, and he has this presence where he's just so hard to get to. It's very hard to separate him off the ball, which I love, and I think that's great for our offensive player. Eswine, who came on, I have to mention him. He did good. It wasn't great, but he did good, and I think he did almost a little bit better than Wolf, maybe. Definitely better than Dilrosun Soon, who just was a little bit bad luck in this game. Of course, Luka Bacchio, great, fantastic. He's now our most successful striker this season with 5 goals. I can only say, keep on doing what you're doing, make it 10 more for all I care, and let's get into Europa League. I know I'm dreaming, Europa League is far off, let's get away from relegation first. But would it not help us in the end of the season to acquire more talent and to get more people to come to our club to help and to make us a big city club if we were in Europe? So hey, I'm dreaming. Now let's look at the stats of the game. We had 9 shots, they had 20. They ran a whooping 4 kilometers more than we did with 118.3 versus our 115.2. which we improved, but to me, I would still like to see it go up a little bit more to 116. They played 546 passes, we did 381, and we had a pass percentage of 70%, again, horrible compared to their 80, which is what I would expect a Bundesliga team to do. They had 59% ball possession and we 41. Given the way how the game was going, I'm not surprised. We were away, okay, you usually don't have as much possession and you play a little bit more of a counter style, but 41, yeah. We won, but let's work on it. However, you can see that we won 58% of our tackles and they only 42. So we did a great work there. We had 4 corners, they had 9, still something that we need to improve on. But overall, looking at the statistics, I think there is an upwards trend, just like the whole team has been showing us. Let's look at the overall facet of the game. I saw improvements. I saw good improvements. It wasn't beautiful, it wasn't perfect, but we improved, and that's the most important part. A lot of times you would see Hertha predominantly on the sideline, on the wing, being in these tight little passing moments where we are passing on a really small space with 2-3 people, and in the past would have quickly lost the ball, they would have countered or something, but all of a sudden we are passing our way out of it, making great movements and going up the field. Not on every time, but on most times it felt like. So I think that was a great improvement. Ball handling, shielding the ball, and close or short passes. Fantastic. A fun fact about Jordan Torunariga, if you look at the game, in the beginning of the game, he actually had a clearance of a cross that was played in by Wolfsburg with his head back, similar to how Luka Bacchio then ended up scoring a goal. The execution of our corners is just subpar. It looked like all of them were just played waist high to the near post to a Wolfsburg player. Complete waste of a corner. Also our shots, I don't know what was going on. Like, all of our shots were wide, except for, of course, the scoring shots. I don't think we really tested the keeper besides those 2. I think that literally our 2 shots on goal ended up being 2 goals, and everything else went horribly wide. I don't know what was going on. Also, Hertha's defense was hard to break down. It literally was. We, except for a couple moments where our defensive mid were out of position a little bit, we looked really good. They were not getting through. Stepping up from Stark and from Torunariga at the right times, all over the place, clearing the balls out. Beautiful. We also pressed and defended higher. I already mentioned it earlier. Where we started actually attacking them maybe 5-10 yards before the midfield line, which is beautiful. It didn't allow them to do what Bayern did to us and set us up and, you know, score a handful of goals. I also think that we really defended well as a team. Luka Bacchio came back, Wolf came back, Rujic came back. It was great team defense all across the board. You can see that Klinsmann has managed to really galvanize the team a little bit, where everybody is fighting for one another. It looks beautiful. It looks really good. I also want to say that it looks like I'm seeing the beginnings of some high press. There were moments where we were pressing them really high in their half. And I'm getting excited. Let's see if by the end of the season we can have some type of high press scheme going. That would be beautiful. I mentioned it before also, our offensive in the last 5 minutes of the game, amazing. Have not seen it in a long time. Coach, you're doing the right thing. The team is there. They're all working together. They all want to win. They're not okay being a draw. They're not like, oh yeah, 1 point is good in Wolfsburg, we'll take it home. No, they said, fuck that. We want 3 points. And they went out and got it. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. And you know, we were down 1-0 and we came back and we won. Ladies and gentlemen, from Atlanta, Georgia, ha, ho, he, Hertha BSC.
Ladies and gentlemen, all the hip hop heads worldwide, tengo el honor de presentar al único, inconfundible, the one and only